I was cyberbullied. People came for me. It actually also affected my daughter, who is 19 years.
Internet has been involved in online gender violence work, I think since 2014, when it first conducted a study on the dark side of ICTs. And what we found out is that women were finding it challenging to engage online because there were all these insults, there was a lot of trolling.
Cyberbullying, sexual harassment,
cyber stalking, and also Photoshop.
During my campaigns, I was trolled through Facebook, told I was fat. And they're like, go to the gym, you're a pig, you need to eat less, why do you think you're attractive? And these comments hurt.
With your type of body, this is not the kind of dressing you should wear, the shirt is too short, look at your body, look at your mate, look at this, it needs someone with a better shape.
I had been enjoying the online spaces, but I didn't realize that people were having challenges, and especially women. And why this work is important is because we have seen there is an increase in gender-based online violence. For example, if you take the women politicians.
One of my competitors paid some bloggers on WhatsApp to open WhatsApp groups where they talked about me. I was the only lady who was vying in that area. And it's a norm that only men vie. So when I did, it was a threat to very many people. And so they countered that by looking for bloggers who in turn now started talking about me, about my family, very nasty things.
Female politicians get more backlash on the internet compared to their male counterparts because they are bullied in respect to their family background, sexual innuendos, and sometimes even having their photos photoshopped on the internet to put them in bad light.
There's a lot of hate against women. There's a lot of hate against persons with disability.
One is of my sister, DJ Wiwa, who was born with cerebral palsy. So when she was doing these TikTok videos, someone came to her inbox and tells her, wacha kujifanya, ondoka online, enda ukaombewe upone.
Ningetaka kuambia tafadhali wacha online gender-based violence Shifwa.
My advocacy work began on Facebook. Social media that I began with was Facebook, but then there were a group of just stalkers that came. There was a lot of attacks and insults. So we were working on sexual reproductive health. We included all genders, not minding the gender identity, and we faced a lot of attacks until I had to even shut down because I didn't even know how to react to it. So the first reaction that came to me is just to shut down the Facebook and to close the account.
You will go and get out of that WhatsApp group, you will go and stop using your Facebook, but one, that is your right. You need to be on that space. So if you go back and keep quiet, somebody else will be attacked. And somebody else, again, it will be a ripple effect. So do not stop.
The internet and the world in general is supposed to allow everyone to participate in general. And if we exclude people because we don't feel like they deserve to have a voice online, or if people feel excluded because they don't deserve to express themselves, then we lose out as a world. We lose out in terms of diversity of voices, in terms of people sharing their experiences, in terms of having an internet that represents everyone.
When harassed online, some of the things that we encourage the women is, number one, reporting.
And sometimes people report and nothing is done. Because I feel like OGBV is never taken seriously. When I went to the policemen about my case, they asked me to leave the groups or remove my Facebook or get out of Twitter. So they were like, you are the problem, so stop doing that. and it's not okay. So I'd advise someone that don't be cowed out of, you know, leaving groups and leaving the social media platforms. You can clap back and you can report it.
We have had clients who have faced certain crimes committed on the online space, and of course there have been attempts to try find justice, but it's normally difficult, especially when we go to law enforcers, the police. Maybe the tools are not there for them to be able to find these people, so the investigations are never complete. There is never full justice.
The government should actually be able to put these people names to these accounts and have them be accountable for their own actions. Because when this person opened this account, they opened from a particular phone or from a particular laptop. The government can trace it. The same way they trace online child abuse, they can actually trace these ones, these people, these culprits of OGBV. They can.
Blocking is a blessing. Me, I don't fight back. I am not one of those people who will be like, let's have endless, say something, I say something. So I block people.
I, however, self-censor a lot. And perhaps that speaks to the conversation around gender and women experiences in online spaces.
In as much as people tend to self-censor themselves, I would say that you can limit what you share to your private members or your family members in that instance. Or if it's something that is very, very sensitive, you should not even share the content at all.
It must always remember that there are some data we can't share outside there, because once we release them outside there, later on at the tail end, they can become platform for targeting us.
Stop, think and check. That's the first technique I recommend. That before sharing anything, think of its consequences. Think of your actions, your behaviors, and what consequences they will cause.
How is it going to look on you probably in 10 years to come? When somebody sees what you've posted and probably they wanted to give you a job, then you've lost that job because of what you've done. So we need to think about the digital footprints that we leave in media, because they determine who you're going to be in the future.
A lot still needs to be done. We recognize approaches that companies like Twitter are taking. For instance, one can limit who can respond under a tweet or even retweet. Efforts such as Facebook to limit the reach of your post to friends or friends only or to your family. We recognize those efforts that are being taken, but I think a lot still needs to be done by social media entities.
So there's a lot more that could be done. Facebook is doing a lot. Twitter is doing enough, but not too much. There's things, they're giving you tools, but you see, does everyone understand how to use these tools?
The experiences of women online tend to differ from those of men. And so for us at Meta, we're very, very conscious about that. And we have a lot of tools and educational materials that we use sort of basically to focus on women, generally speaking. As you probably know, we have what we call our community standards, which are, in simple terms, like the do's and don'ts of our platform. And so if content is found to be on the platform that contravenes the community standards, then that is taken down. Other actions could also be taken.
We have developed together with GIZ, this is a German-based organization, a tool, or we would call it a guideline, that is called the Digital Enquirer. And this has different lessons on how women can stay safe online. So Kiktanet actually contributed 5 lessons into that Digital Enquirer, and now we are encouraging more and more organizations to come and board and use it.
So the Digital Inquiry Kit is a set of modules in an e-learning course that is self-paced, and it aims to empower people who are human rights defenders, journalists, students, and researchers with critical digital skills in order to navigate the online space.
Today I buy a bike and I give it to my son and I ask him, okay, this is a bike, go on, ride it. but I have not given him a manual on how to do it, then he's bound to fall, he's bound to break his toe or his hand, he's bound to get a small accident somewhere along the way. So what the Digital Inquirer Kit is all about is trying to create awareness on how to stay safe online.
First of all, I have to mention that it's a free resource. It's a free resource. It's an open source free resource. You're not going to be charged for the certificate or for anything. Secondly, it's for anyone who has an interest, who is curious about the internet. You could be a man, you could be a woman, you could be a non-binary person. All those people can still have access to this module. So it is for all of us. It's adaptable both for computers and mobile phones, depending on the device that you use to access it.
The Digital Inquiry Kit is very timely, and I really wish I had known about it during that time, because I've learned things that probably I would have done differently if I had known about it. So it's very timely, and I believe that it's going to help a lot of people.
I'm very excited about the Digital Inquirer Kit. For me, it's very timely, because yesterday is when I was seeing this girl being OGBV'd, and today I'm going to learn more about it and how to handle it. So that means before the end of the day, I can be able to reach out and be of help to this young girl.
I've done 4 modules so far, and this being the 5th module, I'm so glad that I'll be progressing to the next stage. The content looks more local, and it's also familiar with our daily lives. So we get to learn real life lessons.
Oh, it was the most amazing experience, I would say, because the content flows. It is, the examples given there, they are relatable, and it's something, if I give it to a 5-year-old, they will understand what's going on.
It's very interactive. So there's places where one person is asking a question, and then you reply, you click on something, you get a reply, you get to choose an answer. So I feel it's very user-friendly.
So when I signed up on the Atingi platform, I was happy to see that the format of the DEK Module 5 is very accessible to people living with various forms of disability. The people with hearing impairment, there are subtitles. People who can't see really well, there's the audio visual part, and then there are learners maybe with cognitive issues. I'm happy to report that the module was simplified, there were pictures, you can learn. Yeah.
I will highly recommend it, and I think the day it's going to be rolled out, I'll be the first one to.
It's not a question, will I recommend, but will I continue to recommend, because that's what I've been doing. I'm glad some of my friends have picked it up.
I'm also happy to say that on this lesson, the members of the LGBTQIA community living with disabilities have a platform that is relevant to their issues, not just a generalizations. Yeah, so I would really like to encourage the LGBTQIA members living with disabilities, people with disabilities, to sign up on the Atingi platform for the DEK Module 5.
So the Digital Inquirer Kit is hosted on the Atingi platform. So you just go online and search Atingi, then you'll be taken to the Atingi platform, and then you choose the digital skills icon. It will then show you all the digital skills that are there, but click on the Digital Inquirer Kit, then click Enroll.
Progress in this sector is not something that's going to happen in a day. It's something that's progressive, and it will require players from different sectors for us to get headway.
It will be important if all stakeholders, especially national institutions and civil society organizations, if they can come together and come up with a proper modality on how the Protection Act can be implemented.
It's important also to build that solidarity among women and other victims of gender-based violence online, to support each other. So just as we are responsible for our own cybersecurity, we should also look to support other people from being harmed online.
So my takeaway is having sisterhood, protecting each other, standing up for each other. Probably if something has been said about my colleague, I would go there and say, no, this is not right, or this should not be happening.
Is that the next time I see someone being bullied, I don't have to scroll up. I have a right to actually, it's my humane right to stop, pause, go to the comments, leave a positive comment and report the person who is actually bullying.
I think it is the time for us not to keep silent, to behave like it is not happening. It is happening, and it is something that it will take all of us. It is a responsibility of each and every person to stop it, because it's very harmful, and if we keep silent, it's going to hurt more people.
And because as Kictanet, we are always catalyzing ICTs, we are always catalyzing change, it is very important that we continue with this conversation, but at a broad level, where we bring in more players, and we also ensure that there are, we are contributing, and we will continue to either influence or shape policy. And the current government has actually has now the president appointed a gender advisor, which really is such a milestone. But even in that gender advisory, what we want is to also see OGBV taken on board and given the seriousness it deserves.